Hey y'all. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I was pulling some things I want to talk about really quick. This is last minute. I didn't plan on even coming on tonight. I will be doing a live stream tomorrow. I don't know who's on, what's going on, anything. I've been watching Betty and I was preparing for a Betty stream. And I got to a point in a stream where I just cannot ignore what is actually being said. I just can't. And we will go through fully tomorrow and talk about it. But we've been talking about how Betty and her rhetoric is extremely concerning. I'm going to show you an example of some of what is going on at the current time. And I hope no matter where you lie on any side of this, you once again remember that when you're in here, we're not talking about right versus left. We're talking about extremists meeting hate with hate, asking for more violence, more bloodshed, bigotry, the right in your face, what you see from Betty. But I'm also going to ask you to walk with me while we talk about where she's getting some of this hateful rhetoric with an open mind. This is not about where you land. This is about the facts and the harm that is being done because of people like Betty and this type of rhetoric. All right, let's go. So this is our stream from tonight.
Are you guys here?
Again, we're not going to watch the entire thing because we'll do a full debunking tomorrow, but I can't not say something.
Okay, there you are. Did you guys see me before? Because I feel like I wasn't there. It's like my whole entire system.
And to anybody that's live, I'm sorry. I didn't even check. I didn't look at anything. I just got to get this off my chest and ask you guys if you give a shit about these things and if you give a shit about where we actually are, facts in true crime cases, allowing the victims to have the justice that they deserve, but stopping fear-mongering, all of this bullshit that is happening, targeting communities, then be angry and speak up.
It keeps jumping in and jumping out. And I don't see anybody in the comments.
Okay, good. It's really bad. This is really bad. I just popped.
Can you guys see me?
Hey, Jax. Thank you, guys.
My phone is flickered on and off for like several minutes.
Okay, so she has tech difficulties, whatever.
Really bad word in my description. I said assassination. Charlie Kirk's assassination. I guess they don't like that word on YouTube.
So, as we know, this is what she has been discussing recently alongside almost the entire internet and our entire government and everybody else. And just when you think it can't get worse, she claims that she's a true crime commentator. She is a political activist, though, too. You know, she, of all things, is just the do-all. Well, she is mixing the two now because there is an ongoing investigation into what happened to Charlie Kirk. We are seeing so many knee-jerk reactions and overshooting and blame shifting, pointing fingers, and nobody cares about the facts of this case nor the dignity to this person. Now, I have made it very publicly known months ago, way before I've talked about Turning Point and my views. So it's no shock to anybody that I was not a Charlie Kirk fan. Just wasn't. Because of the rhetoric I heard spewed. That is my personal choice. However, in the same breath, I can state that the man does not deserve to die. Period, point blank, end of story. There's no further questions. I am not doing this to justify the man's murder because that's just not it. He was murdered. But there is an active investigation into that. And she claims she's true crime, fact-based. Instead, all they are doing is pointing fingers and trying to incite more violence, more hatred, and more division. And it's not just her. These are the facts of where it's coming from and who she's repeating some of this stuff from. We'll get into it really deep tomorrow, but there's some things that we're just going to talk about. This is so problematic and concerning to me, and to watch people blindly follow this stuff is extremely concerning to me. And trying to downplay the harm that he said in some of the statements that he said that have been used, twisted, turned, manipulated by his own people to push off rhetoric like this. They're honoring Charlie by doing this. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're trying to suppress people's freedom of speech by encouraging doxing and calling of employers. And if you don't believe me, well, give me a second. This shit's just getting out of hand. They're using Charlie's name, and we talked about this, for all of the wrong reasons. 8 hours ago on Fox News, JD Vance urged Americans to call the employers of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. I know that it's gross. There are some really nasty things that have been posted. I've seen pictures with his children's pictures and AI edited to disgusting things. I won't show them on here, but there are disgusting, vile humans on every side of every bit of this. Charlie, they claim, stood for free speech. So people who are genuinely quoting things that Charlie said, which he never backed down from, everybody talks about him so greatly because he didn't back down from using his words to have differing opinions. He stood for freedom of speech. But here they are honoring Charlie by going completely against what Charlie, they claim, stood for. When you have the vice president of the United States inciting this type of people, Betty, for instance, oh, I'm not showing it, Crafty Girl. It's so fucking bad. I'm not. It is so, that's why I won't show that shit. But there are horrific things being said. And it's a mind fuck if you just try to like walk it through and just go, okay, what are the facts of the actual case? Because the man was murdered brutally. And then you try to separate like people saying, oh, he's this. Okay, you can believe that, but stop cheering this type of shit on, because this is what you tell us out of one side of your mouth he stood against. It's wild. And this is the vice president. We don't believe in political violence. This is a direct quote on Fox News. Quote, we don't believe in political violence, but we do believe in civility. And there is no civility in the celebration of political assassination. So now this is spread like wildfire to Twitter. They're doxing each other for saying things like, this was a quote from Charlie Kirk that I disagree with. They are calling people's employers for saying things like that. And you can go see. People are proudly doing it. Telling people they're doing it. It's wild. There are certain lines that, yeah, I do believe that it escalates to the point where some of these people are doing too much and disgusting threats. But that's always, it doesn't just matter in this time. That's always a thing that should matter. When victims and their families are harassed, like the Sandy Hook families, those victims, like the victims in Colorado, like the victims of all the school shootings, when their families are mocked, ridiculed, harassed, people claim that they're not real, we should care then too. But this is escalating people like Betty to do the things that she's doing. And please hear me out again. I ask you, drop your quote unquote identifiers and just listen to the words and think of the facts that we know publicly available on this murder, first and foremost. And secondly, what you're hearing with the hateful rhetoric that she is pushing to honor this man. We'll get into that whole JD Vance stuff, probably more tomorrow, because I'm going to play. He hosted Turning Point USA's podcast today. The sitting vice president of the United States. Well, maybe we'll play a clip of it tonight, because
I think I might have to push through
it's wild.
That barrier. So I think I'm going to use that word a lot. So please come over and check out the channel, because they might shadow ban me. No, I'm just joking.
And again, right off the bat, I appreciate you all being willing to have these conversations and lay things down and just realize what is happening right in front of us. This isn't about where you land. These are problematic people, and it's only getting worse.
All right, guys. So we found out some new news that I think is pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not shadow banned. I used a word.
Well, Crafty Girl, we see her do that to victims and their families. That's the problem. Like, I guess to me, no matter if this is where when you stand for victims, they're using Charlie's death in all the wrong ways. And whether I liked the man or not, that is totally irrelevant. I didn't know him. I didn't agree with him, the things he said. I didn't agree with his tactics, the way he spoke about some of the things he believed in, but he believed in those things. And one thing I can give him is he repeated these things. These are things that he repetitively said, but they are trying to wash this down to completely doing the opposite of what they tell us we should celebrate this man for standing for. It's such a mindfuck out here. And at the end of the day, he was murdered, brutally murdered. And he doesn't deserve any of this.
I had to go out, remove the word, and then all of a sudden, poof, you guys were here. It's really weird. You keep buffering here? Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be buffering at all. I got great internet on my end. Justin
hey, that's what I'm saying. JD Vance, like, this is Betty and all the way up. Like, to have a sitting vice president call for that in this climate with social media and how many things we've seen with gun violence and stuff, that is it's so dangerous. I don't care if you like him or not. This is dangerous. If this was anybody else, if it was Betty, if it was anybody, calling for that type of retaliation would be problematic. But because he's the sitting vice president, people will overlook this shit. No, these motherfuckers, all of them have lost their goddamn minds. They did a long time ago, I think. Fuck. I'm sick of it. Expose them all.
Hey, love, big hugs and kiss to you. I wish I could put you on the channel or on the chat, but I can't because I'm in office too. So what we found out, as many of you guys know, Charlie Kirk lost his life by an assassin, right? His name is Tyler Robinson. And many people are now stating, actually it's factually stated at this point, he was indoctrinated.
This is the Fox. I'll flash that once again. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but this is what people are talking about. This is Fox News post from 8 hours ago. JD Vance was on the Charlie Kirk podcast this morning and was talking about Charlie Kirk, of course. His direct quote is, "We don't believe in political violence, but we do believe in civility, and there is no civility in the celebration of political assassination," end quote. When you quote down here, in the picture, I don't know if you guys can't see it. Quote, "When you see someone celebrating Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer," end quote. Fox News. You guys might not be able to see that very well. It's just a mindfuck because we're told that we're supposed to overlook. I don't know. We'll talk about it deeply tomorrow, but I just want to get this out here.
He was brainwashed and he was put up to carrying.
You'll see there's a distinct part that I'm going to make
out this horrible, horrible act. And he's going to have to pay the price for that. Cash Patel was out. And then just recently, an hour ago, Benny Johnson was out with some new information. And listen to this. Trantifa. I know we're going to have to, you know what? People are going to be nasty and mean to us. I don't care anymore. I really don't care. When it comes to, you know what? It's fun and games until somebody gets hurt. Okay. And then,
well, she provably has been calling for further bloodshed.
And after that, somebody gets hurt. And we're
meeting her with words again on the internet And she's claiming that she's being attacked, physically, beaten in the streets. People are trying to assassinate her. People are so caught up in their weird feelings about me as a person that they won't even realize that they are starting to sound like Betty.
Case dead? Yeah, the stigma is gone. Like, we've ripped that Band-Aid off. We're firing people left and right. People are like, oh, cancel culture. Well, nobody gave a shit 10 years ago when you were doing the same damn thing. You know, so I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, right? You're free to speak your mind over here when it comes to this topic, okay?
No, you're fucking not. Try it. I did. I got blocked. It was like 10 seconds. No shit.
If you have anything rude to say, you'll be booted. It's just going to be that simple. I have zero patience and zero tolerance for bullshit.
And I sat there and waited hours. I think I had to wait like hours. It was the other day.
If you don't know that, check it. My mods are absolutely the best of the best. They are battle-tested mods, and they will boot you quicker than I can say boot, okay? So be nice to people. This is a respectful chat. This is a, we're not perfect Christians, but we do believe in God over here. So you bring any of your anti...
Right off the bat, once again, we're Christians. Again, the Christians I know don't believe in any of this shit. They also, most of them believe that Jesus was a refugee and not a white guy. So there's that too. And they also don't believe that using religion to condone further acts of violence are a thing. They also think that praying in action with prayers is a necessity to solve some of the issues that we've got. You don't speak for Christians, but when you and BJ hide behind it to mask your fucking bullshit, it's cringe for real Christians.
Crap, this ain't the show. This ain't the show. And we got our hard line in the sand. I'm happily shedding people for my hard line in the sand. I'm fine with it. I'm absolutely fine. We want to build a platform.
I am too, and I'm absolutely fucking fine with it. If you can't be here for a conversation like this, you will never be able to stomach what I talk about. Because if you're okay with the shit that's being done and said, and the further call for violence, you're not here for the right reasons or anything that I have ever stood for. See your way out, because I will always stand and speak against what this is becoming.
Form that is right for all of us. We don't want evil people in this chat. We just don't. It's done. It's done. So if you guys like Paralegal Liz, big hug and kiss to you. I miss you. I was just thinking about you the other day. How ironic. How ironic.
Okay.
Evil and demonic.
Hold on.
Things to fit in.
And
to keep.
I'm gonna tomorrow. I'll post some clips of BJ actually spewing the same rhetoric as BHB to begin with, and then she did this insane switch up last night that actually really pissed me off, because I've been saying this for days. That just days before, and I'm not giddy about this. I'm just giddy the fact that it's funny that she's parroting things now. But we had talked about the other day how Charlie in July had called for the full release and transparency on the Epstein files in one of his segments. Just 3 days before he was murdered, he did a podcast and talked. I don't remember exactly what the context of it was, but I will pull the clips when we get into that deeper, about Israel, something with Israel. And I showed Laura Loomer's post the other day, who 2 days before he was murdered, called him out on social media. BJ is now starting to acknowledge that there was things that he stood openly for. He wanted transparency until he got a phone call. But it's funny to see how BJ is backing this off and going with a little bit of information and full conspiracy. It's pissing me the fuck off. All of these guys.
Using our faith, using our words, using our voices. We're going to keep making dents into this. We've been working very, very hard to get Omar expelled from Congress. We've got that. I think we've got that just about.
Keep it moving. There was a channel, a conservative channel, that I usually try to tend to on YouTube to watch for another opinion on the other side. The other day, I went to check and see where his take was going to be. He's also like a firearms expert, so he's really good with ballistics. He said that Charlie Kirk's murder was the worst assassination since JFK. The only one that really kind of mattered since JFK. You know what's between those two? You know who was assassinated in 1968? Some of you will. Hopefully I didn't fuck that up. It was 1968, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. MLK. Yeah. I knew Kay would know. Yeah, he completely overlooked that MLK had been assassinated. Yep. Spotty Dotty, I showed that. I showed that somebody was on 9/11, and on 9/11, that was the worst part of it too. On 9/11, this creator says Charlie Kirk, this generation's 9/11. Yeah. Yep. I was done. I unsubbed right then there. No further open for that one. Have other ones. Oh, yeah, I've got views on her too. NorCal. But she's a yeah. But it was really disappointing. Like the way that people are completely doing stuff. Yeah. Perry, she did. Yeah. I was right on the year. Thank you so much, Donna. Yeah, she compared it. This creator compared on 9/11. She said Charlie Kirk was this generation's 9/11. Even though 2,977 people were killed in 9/11, and then subsequent thousands of people have been affected, died, have ongoing, like just the ignorance of it all. Again, people are allowed to be extremely outraged and sad. 100%. The man was murdered, period. But we've just gone full stupid lately.
Under wrap. But I've got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to wake up.
You can go back to, I'll pull it up again if I can find it. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Even the bad, even because a lot of these people, I'm sure they were just, they're so used to.
And again, I really appreciate those of you that are in here and willing to we're walking through this together. Truly. Do I have questions about some of the things that are going on in the investigation? Fuck yeah, I do. Do you know who's running the FBI? Cash Money fucking Patel. The dude can't even look straight. You expect him to run an investigation. I'm not fucking picking on anybody's eyes. Oh, and that CN Valhalla thing, somebody mentioned that the other day. That was Cash Patel that said that. That was a quote from Cash Patel. Cash Patel is running the FBI. He's a fucking podcaster. Look into him. If you don't know who Cash Patel is, look into the dude. The guy is
the biggest fucking DEI hire I've ever seen.
Look into.
He doesn't have a fucking.
I don't care what side you're on. Look into Don Bongino. Dan. I like to call him Don though because he's the Don. Didn't you know? He's the fucking Don. He thinks he's a goddamn mob boss. Oh my God, I can't stand these guys. Anyways, and that's not a side thing. These guys are just fucking idiots. And you know how Betty is like all about, oh, normally it's college education. She's college educated. God. I don't think you will, Seawood. You might be right. Depending on, love you too, Miss Leah. He might be, but I don't know at this point. Oh, hold on. I'll play this while I go find that clip.
Saying things to fit in, I believe that a lot of people that do not have hate in their heart but did run their mouth lost their job, as well as some hateful people. But at the end of the day, there's a time and a place, and everybody needs consequences. And I'm happy to see so many people having consequences for their disgusting behavior.
You realize she feels emboldened because of JD Vance, the sitting vice president of the United States. Betty feels emboldened to now call employers of people that hurt her fifis on the internet. I want you to take into account Betty, what Betty is doing here, what Betty is going to use this as. This emboldens people. That, granted, he didn't say go open season on anybody and everybody. Like, that's not what it is. Kraken, I'm done coddling you. I am really done. I have sugarcoated and coddled you and done all of this for so long with you. You are so unwilling to even fucking open your eyes. Go sit with Betty, Kraken. At this point, just go sit there. Stop wasting your time. I'm done coddling you. You don't like the facts. That's JD Vance's fucking words, Kraken. You're all about truth, right? I adore you when it's outside of this topic, but I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat anybody's feelings at this point in time. Just not doing it, guys. These are the facts. That's where Betty is getting this from. You can be mad at me. They're the ones saying it. It doesn't make fucking sense to me. You're mad. I'm pushing leftist agenda. This isn't an agenda. This is where Betty is getting her rhetoric from. This is called fact checking. So fact checking is important in any other time unless it's about the extreme right wing. Right? I've never ever attacked you for your right wing beliefs. I've coddled them. Again, you have to sleep at night knowing that you're okay in supporting a rapist, a court adjudicated rapist. I don't have to, because I'm fucking not. When I say I stand against things happening to children, women, I also say expose them all. Expose the entire Epstein file. Name and shame every one of them that are corrupt. I don't give a fuck if they have a D or an R behind their name. When I say I stand against these things, I mean it. And it means all the way up to the fucking White House. I come with understanding that it is fucking weird to idolize a fucking Cheeto that sits behind a desk. Politicians work for us, and we are letting them use us for fucking games and propaganda. I have always respected the people who have adored Trump. Most of my friends adore Trump, vote for Trump. But guess what? We have hard conversations. And I know what they thought they were voting for. I know what they stood for. Most of them are old school conservatives. Again, that's not what this is. They're not okay with the shit that's happening. They think expose them all. But I am fucking done being ridiculed and you guys using this. I'm offended. Nonsense. Fuck you. Be offended. I'm offended that you're fucking trying to make excuses for a goddamn rapist and a 34-time felon. Well, a lot of you try to weaponize, oh, you're a felon out here. Well, you're fucking idolizing one. Give me a goddamn break. I'm sick of the goddamn games. You say you stand against racists while supporting and idolizing a fucking open racist. Does this make me left-leaning? No, it makes me a realist. We're fucked. Expose them all. But right now, this shit is dangerous. And anybody that can come in here and tell me to be quiet because I'm not coddling your fucking radical beliefs and you want to shut me down by I offended your fucking religion, well, you don't even know what the goddamn thing you are believing it is. Because God was a refugee. God didn't shoot people.
Jesus.
They want to call it God.
God's the white floaty guy in the sky.
I'm over it. I'm done with you guys thinking that you can fucking throw this offended bullshit at me and shut me the fuck up. No, you guys are true crimers, right? That's what most of you claim you're invested in. Then start fucking looking for the facts and wake the fuck up. This ain't a leftist agenda. I don't even fucking know what leftist or rightist. This is extremist. Radicalism exists in every sector. and it's harmful, and people use it to hurt others and make excuses for it. You can see it on a level of at night media saying we can get you into Me Too and out of, while not recognizing that the same fucking propaganda is the fucking orange Cheeto sitting behind that desk. The same people who are trying to take my girls' rights from them. So when they're our age, they're just better off in the kitchen, right? Making a sandwich. I'm sorry. When I say I stand for something, I fully stand in it. I don't half-ass it like a lot of you for numbers and views. This is called deprogramming because I fucking grew up in this shit. And the best thing I can fucking do is use my voice. Sorry, I dropped the lighters from out. I lost the lighters from outside my ass when I stood up because I had them under my ass cheek. I am over it. I'm fucking over it. Be offended, get offended, stay offended. Because if you can't have a goddamn adult conversation at this point in time, this isn't the space for you. I have never came in here and fucking demonized a goddamn one of you for being right wing, voting for Trump. I could call him the orange man. Guess what? You could call Biden Sleepy Joe, and I didn't fucking give a fuck. I didn't like the dude particularly either. At all. But I offend you, right? Just tell me more who you guys are, because you don't stand for shit. You try to fucking use your feelings for offendedness to shut people up. Don't ever tell me, any of you, that you stand for a fucking thing. And you're invested in the facts and the truth. Because you don't want that. Expose every piece of shit that uses political agenda, religion agenda to harm others. Stop being okay with them sending our National Guard into cities to round up people because their skin is brown.
I gotta disagree, sweet one. God may be love. Hate has nothing to do with religion. A lot of hate comes from religion. A lot of hate does come with religion, but it's not because of Christians. It's because people like Betty and others use it to cover the wrongdoings. So they use it to cover their ill intent, and it hurts people because then religion and Christianity is attached to trauma or pain for those people. So it does come with a lot of hate for a lot of people. That's not the intent, but bad people that weaponize it, that exist in every segment of life, unfortunately use it. I am so fed up with being fucking ridiculed by a bunch of fucking strangers who tell me they stand for something, well, not standing for shit. I've said over and over again, Kyle and I both, we don't have the goddamn answers ever. But these are the people who run this country and are fucking inciting people like Betty. You want to talk about incitement? This is a great case of it. If you can't lay down your fucking identifier with politics, if that's a part of your personality, I pity you. If this is such an offensive topic that you can't even have an adult conversation, agree to disagree, or come to some sort of understanding because we all are being lied to and we're all just trying to figure it out and cope with it and figure out where to go, this won't be the place for you now than any other time. I appreciate some of your support, but it's time we get fucking real. I've always been this way. I just haven't had the opportunity to talk on it for a while. If you want to know what I've always stood against, since I've been able to find my own voice, it's against people who use religion and politics to harm others while telling you they're the most loving individuals. Stop trying to change me. It's not going to happen. We're progressing over here and want more for our fellow humans. You can stay stuck in the before civil rights era. Keep the goddamn 19th Amendment.
So those people that really aren't completely evil and demonic.
In other words, I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. So respectfully,
If you can't handle a fact-checking session of a true crime creator and where she's getting her information, you know, the same thing I do with BJ, source it. If you can't handle that, tap the fuck out and just make sure you stick to drama. Respectfully, see your way out. And please come back when you can't stay so long.
You know, maybe this will be the wake-up call for them to look more internally into themselves and be better individuals out there in the real world. You know, that's what we want. But here's what we've learned, okay? You guys all know that we found out, there's been rumors that Discord was involved in the situation. There was some type of communication on Discord. People knew. People were kind of glorifying something happening before it happened. So there was a whole community that knew about this.
Water Rider, if you're confused on what I said, please rewind and listen to it. I didn't stutter. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I hate when I am very clear on what I'm saying when people come in here, just like when people wanted to be offended by the thoughts and prayers. You guys say you're for true crime, right? This is a true crime case with a lot of fucking rhetoric and propaganda pushed that harms other communities for just trying to exist. It's unnecessary. No matter where you fucking sit politically, this is too far on all aspects. Please rewind. I didn't stutter and I said exactly what I meant to say.
And kept their mouth
I might have stuttered when I dropped the lighters a couple times.
shut. They wanted to see this happen to this young man, which is absolutely appalling. A man that never did anything to them except say that he doesn't.
And this is why I've always been an outlier in all these communities, because this is where I come alive. This is where I feel like there's a space. There are so many people being harmed by this type of bullshit.
Stephen Miller's the Antichrist.
This is so far beyond right or left, in between, aliens. This is so far beyond. And I know a lot of you aren't ready for that because we've been taught you don't talk about religion and politics. Well, it's time we start fucking talking about it and doing something. Changing policy. We, the people, need to start educating ourselves on what we're voting for. Because we don't want more school shootings. We don't want unchecked gun violence that's only getting worse. There was a shooting in Minnesota today. If you're okay with this stuff and just being oblivious to it, sit there. But don't come in here thinking you're going to silence the rest of us that are willing to speak up and say something.
Hey, Tracy.
Stewie, thank you so much for the support. Honestly, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
You, my friend, are an old and wise soul, having the balls to be who you are at 41. No fucks. 42. Am I 42? Yeah, I'm 42 this year. No fucks given is harder than it looks. It takes courage, Bex.
38.
P.S. No apologies for being liberal or progressive.
Hey,
I don't.
guys.
I need to figure out what I really truly identify as anymore, Kay. I need to have I've had a lot of different friends kind of explain what they see from me, and I know where I kind of land, but it's really interesting because I really don't have one anymore. I'm just kind of here I am.
You're a progressive with traditional values.
I'm a progressive with traditional values. That's what Kyle calls me. That's another thing, sweet one. We're not even taking care of, they always say America first, right? This is going to get me choked up. They say America first. Well, cutting VA funding, the men and women who dedicated their lives and served this country to keep our freedoms, they're cutting the budgets of VA funding, housing for our veterans. We're America first, but shit on our own people who gave their lives for this country. America first? While putting our veterans on the street and cutting their access to healthcare and mental health resources? How does that make sense? How?
There's no fucking way I'd be president. Nope.
It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, back to this. Thank you for understanding. I've been there. I've been on the verge for a while to pop off. And it just, tonight was just, I know, Julie. I know. I recognize that. And that's why it's so interesting to me, because there's a lot of creators that vote differently than I do, that are different by title, who are willing to be a part of these conversations because they too see the knee-jerk reaction of the misinformation and how this another tragedy is being spun into propaganda. Just look what we watched with Sebastian. Sebastian is being compared to January 6th, where people brutalized and killed cops while telling us that they're law and order. What?
Italy loves, yes, 100%.
They stormed the Capitol. People died.
They shit on a desk.
Accept their way of life.
And to any of my mods, you know, I adore you. I respect your beliefs. You respect mine, because most of you, we've had conversations. You know that you can tap out with these conversations anytime. I'm not trying to get you guys in shit you don't want to be in.
And that is his choice. It is your choice to live your life the way you choose to live your life. It is everybody else's choice to live their life the way they want to. You don't get to tell somebody to respect you. People in this world may not respect you. I grew up in the world of hard knocks, okay? This whole little patty cake thing that we're doing with safe spaces, I told you that was a bad idea. I mocked it for years and everything like that. Exactly, Randa. Discord. Discord came out with a statement to the people.
I don't have to tell you I'm right. That's the difference over here. That's the funny thing, is I'm not telling you I'm right. I'm showing you the source of where this fucking shit's coming from. And you're still trying to argue with me that I'm wrong. I'm showing you factually from Fox News where she's getting this rhetoric. It comes directly from the seated president of the United States. I don't have to tell you I'm right. I can show you I'm right. It's not about being right. It's about fact checking. The fucking funniest thing to me is you guys can handle BJ being fact checked, but shit, not Betty. Not when the sources are the sitting vice president of the United States, right? Unfortunately, this is where it is. Just like At Night Media, when they were pushing propaganda and have been all along, they were the source of the trickle down. You take it back to the source. That's how you debunk. Maybe some of you don't know that.
People saying that
you're allowed to have a conversation. I'm just showing you the receipts. No different than I always do.
he did not use their platform to plan.
This is called playing and showing their own words.
I want to know how people take somebody who paints himself orange every morning seriously. Because everybody knows that if Joe Biden woke up every morning and painted himself green, the right would lose their fucking mind every single day. But yet this guy paints himself orange every day, and everybody's cool with it. Even the ones that hate like transgender and cross-dressing, and they're scared of drag queens.
Oh yeah, he
JD
changes.
JD
yeah, I
wears
get where
more
you're going.
makeup than anybody.
I get where you're going. Yeah, that's a fact. And I'm so sick of hearing people cringe when I call him a rapist. I'm sorry. You guys say you protect women and you stand for the victims. What about Trump's victims? He's an adjudicated rapist. E. Jean Carroll is her name. Her name matters. I don't know why people are willing to overlook that or cringe when they say that they protect children, then release the Epstein files. We stand against trafficking, right? We stand against child exploitation, right? Again, I don't give a fuck if you personally like him. You got to sleep with that. I'm not trying to shun you or shame you. A lot of us didn't even fucking know that.
Why is Ishi sitting on their hands?
I don't know. But he is. And it's just one of the facts. And It bothers me so bad because as soon as I say that, people are like, how dare you insult him? I'm not. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. He is civilly convicted by a jury of 9 of his peers.
He owes her $91 million.
This is the true crime space, right? That overlaps. Then we've got to talk about the facts. And her name is E. Jean Carroll. She is the victim. Stop getting mad at me for providing the facts of what we all know.
It was a civil
Facts are
case
facts.
Because the statute of limitations was expired.
Did you guys hear, Kyle? It was a civil case because the statute of the limitations expired.
He had 2 years to voluntarily give up his DNA so they could match it to the dress that she was
Red
wearing.
Castle, you don't need to announce your departure, dear. This ain't JFK and nobody gives a fuck. Truly. You want to talk about these heavy topics in true crime while salivating over missing children and their families, but you can't handle a conversation about a man sitting behind a desk running a country. Well, actually, he's not running it. He's just the puppet, in my opinion, for all the billionaires, who is convicted of rape. Do we play these semantics in true crime cases? Do you guys play this mental fucking jump here?
So if E. Jean Carroll is such a nutcase, which everybody says, and I don't agree with her. I mean,
Who's that?
Why did the jury find him guilty?
They said 83 million.
Well, yeah, but after interest, it'll be 91. So,
Oh,
sorry.
after with interest postcards. What about the one who are you talking about running Water Rider? There are so many people that are out here that are corrupt as fuck. Like I said, expose them all. I don't give a shit what letter they have behind their name. That's the thing, is I'm focused on the facts. I don't give a shit about what letter is. So tell me who it is and I'll look into him. I was actually polling from some right-wing talking places today. As I was telling you guys, I went to look for some and I was mind fucked because I heard him say that about the assassination with JFK. And I was just like, but MLK was a huge part of history. To overlook facts, these are facts, is so hard for me in this space where people claim that they're all about the facts. It's hard. Again, this isn't a personal like of these people. I don't like anybody. I'm an equal opportunity hater. These are politicians. We should not worship them in any way, shape, or form, period, on any side.
I watched Fox News back in the day lose their ever-loving minds because Obama wore a tan suit. It was the end of the world. Can you imagine if he was a felon? If Obama had a felony, can you imagine what they would have done? This dude has 34.
Yeah. This is why we started an island, because I don't conform to the rules of what they expect me to do. I heard somebody tried to debunk my 47 school shootings. Again, direct source, CNN, and you can look where they compile their data from. Why are you trying to debunk that there's that many? Like, what the fuck are we doing? One's too many, let alone when it's an actual fucking sourced quote, a number.
Jim, you're right.
And now you have people calling me Miss 47 school shootings. Are you fuckers okay? Stand the fuck up and stand for something, because some of you have fallen flat on your fucking faces. Stewie, thank you for becoming a member. Children at more at risk participating in organized religion than if a transgender person using the public restroom. Also, Becky, I agree with Kyle. You are not a liberal. We are only America first if you are a billionaire. Well, I appreciate the support, but Janice in accounting, just so you know, according to the internet, I'm extreme leftist. We laughed so motherfucking hard the other day. We laughed so hard when I was like, okay, we'll go with it. Again, I acknowledge that there's radicals in every sector segment, but to call me extreme leftist when I'm not even pushing propaganda, I'm just fact checking these fuckers and sourcing it, is wild as fuck.
Or communicate what he was doing. They said they identified his account. This is from They identified his account.
Phoenix, I don't like politicians. I'm an equal opportunity hater. Again, I don't care if people like Trump on a personal level. We're just talking the facts over here. Like, there's court documents to prove this. We're good with court documents being talked about in, true crime cases and stuff. These are just the facts. I didn't like Biden on a personal level either. I don't like really any politician on a personal level. There's some that I think are got some spunk in them, but I don't agree with them all the time, no matter what side. But yeah, I wasn't a fan there either. We need somebody good running, and we just have not had shit.
They reviewed his account, and they didn't find any planning done on that account. Now, we kept hearing that somebody was trying to erase messages, and that the FBI got they've got everything.
AI? What do you mean, Chroma Reels? AI had a field day with this live stream. Oh, with Betty's? I figured out how to make a X post because of this live stream. If you guys we'll get to the part, and then if you guys are on X and you reshare, please reshare my post. I'll show you the part that I'm concerned with. I mean, it's all concerning, but we'll get to it.
I keep wondering when I keep hearing about this Discord, because they're doing subpoenas. Nobody wants to mess with the FBI.
Oh, and another thing, please save me the emails. Please. It's not that I'm not interested in all your opinions and your feelings, but I don't need to hear how much I offended your religion when I'm not talking about your personal relationship with whoever you believe in. I just don't care. You are entitled to that. That's a personal relationship. I am not taking a slight at Christians in any way, shape, or form. I'm taking a slight at the bad person using religion to harm others and then covering it by God's word. That makes Christians look bad. I'm not slighting anybody's beliefs. You are allowed those, just like I am. And to assume you know what I believe in is fucking ridiculous, because none of you know.
Well, you put it like this. I may not break the law, and there may be an FBI that comes and knocks on my door to ask me a question. If I'm not going to be, even though I've committed no crime, if I lie to that FBI agent, I have committed a crime under our law. You do not mess with the FBI. You do not lie to the FBI. I hope Discord doesn't lie. But according to Benny Johnson, he actually believes that Discord may go away because of this. Discord is a mess. Well,
fear mongering.
It's where everybody plans to do horrible things. That's what the hate channels did.
Fear mongering.
That's where they've been
trying to correlate this stuff to the hate channel.
Around all this stuff. We've been talking about it for several years. You guys know this. But I find it awfully ironic that the hate channels have the same playbook that we're seeing here on a national stage. That is very, very concerning and very, very alarming for me personally. I've lived it. I've lived this nonsense, not to this extent whatsoever. My heart bleeds for what's going on. But we have to get to the bottom of it. So I'm going to try to stay.
And somebody with that many felonies that's never served a day in jail, when there's still people sitting in prison for marijuana crimes from like the 80s. It's a mind fuck, truly. And then you hear these people in the true crime space completely overlook the facts of who this is because they like this guy, but still be factual. It's not that fucking hard. It really is weird to me.
More focused on the facts of the case, because I think you guys know how I feel about this. And as we start gearing up closer and closer to Charlie's memorial, I'm probably going to be a little more emotional.
Rubber, so did I.
It's just very hard. It's a very jagged pill for me to swallow. What I'm having to deal with last week and into this week.
And is the thing.
Anyways, so for all of you that don't know what has happened, Charlie Kirk obviously was on the campus of UVU. That's I can't remember. It's the Utah Valley University. And he had been to Utah Valley University before, and he was doing his kickoff because one of the things that was super important to him was having that connection with our next generation. And
BJ said last night, we're basically in the Cold War. That's what she said last night. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Publicly debating the next generation. A lot of people are confused out there. A lot of people, especially over the last decade, with the indoctrination camps and all this other stuff from our university, there's been a lot of bad information instilled into our young people. And so
bad information instilled into our young people.
He thought because it appeared, at least on the face, and actually, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It appeared that one side of the aisle was trying to destroy the family unit, and so he, being a follower of Christ,
destroy the family unit. Oh my God! Stop! Just stop!
And him being so faithful in in his religion, he wanted to marry, religion to.
There was a reason why there was separation of church and state. There's a reason for it.
Politics, and he wanted to talk about how biblical writings really do define, political stuff, but that's
and they shouldn't.
Just his way of connecting with people, and he did it so genuinely. He did it so nicely. You see me when I get into like somebody.
You're gonna fucking love what's to come. I'm gonna skip very soon, but you are gonna love what's to come in this segment here. She is absolutely Mensa level. Don't forget it. I want you to remind yourselves that she says she is college educated.
Pisses me off or get bitter. You guys see me. I'm like one of these, F you, kick rocks type of people. You guys know, you guys have watched me for years on this platform. You guys know how I am. If somebody pisses me off, I'm going to tell them about themselves, okay? I'm not the kind of Christian that Charlie is. Now I realize it's the kind of Christian I need to become. That's
Body from Don't Fuck with Cats. I haven't seen. Oh, there she is. Yep, that's Body. That's the real Body. I forget you're kind of a celebrity of things. I mean, you're an incredibly talented and extremely intelligent human being, but I forget about all of your TV shows. I just always remember you of crazy detail orientated.
Which means I got a lot more work left on me. But,
you are a celeb around here.
Day, whatever. We all have work we need to do, even Bullhorn Betty. Okay?
Hey, Monica.
I didn't say that out loud, and I'll deny it if you tell anybody that I said I have to work on myself, because I do not have to work on myself.
I understand that, Monica. And Monica, I got to give you props. I know you are completely polar opposite on many things, but really we're not that far apart. If we started talking about actual policy and breaking it back, there's common sense things that a lot of us more likely agree on than we recognize. And I appreciate you being able to sit in here and hear me out and understand that this isn't yes, I have my personal stances and my personal beliefs, just like you guys do. They're politicians. We shouldn't worship them in any way or hold them in this regard like we do. They're fucked up humans. I mean, time and time has proven that. But I really do appreciate you being open to sit in here, because these are hard conversations for a lot of people. But they're conversations and or information. Like, I'm just fact checking Betty. That's all I'm really doing. But people continue to use the same things that Betty is using to try and shut me up. And it's like, so I'm very passionate, but I do appreciate you saying that. Oh. Well, no, she's right though. It's hard for anybody, Monica, because it's being shoved in our faces that we have to choose. We have to choose one or the other. No, we don't. It is hard though. It's hard coming from anybody. I cringe too.
We all have some work to do. It's nice to see you guys. But that's what he did, and he really connected. And I can tell you that our movement would not be what it is without Charlie Kirk.
That's something Kyle has really gotten me interested in with Drake recently and over the last many years, like 5 years. And there's so many things that get slipped into these policies that is just shocking to me still.
He was an amazing person, an amazing man, and it's so senseless that a side of the aisle demonized him.
I get that. We have the two-party system. I get that. That's not what I'm saying, Dynamite. I'm saying, like, right now in this whole, like, with Charlie Kirk being murdered, it shouldn't be political. It should be fact. Like, the man was murdered. But they're trying to make us choose a side in something that the man was just murdered. They need to have an investigation. That's what I'm getting at with we shouldn't have to choose in this.
Ranked choice voting like in New York. Because then we wouldn't have to choose one party or the other.
Kathy 514, 100%. They are not easy, right, Senrisa? And that's why I really say, like, I really do appreciate people being willing on, because again, I've been saying it for days on end. Please drop your political identifiers. We're fact checking. I know it's hard, but I am just doing what I do with everything else. I'm sourcing where her rhetoric is coming from. If I was to get on here and just play this and say, well, she got it from here, people would be like, no, she didn't. No, she fucking didn't. You're wrong. I'm showing you the source of where she is running with this stuff from. So you don't have to believe me. You can find it yourself. I hope that makes sense.
We should start bringing up House bills, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah, Dynamite. Yeah, 100%. You can be an asshole and still you can still, all things can exist. Like, we are in such a space where it can't. Lindy Lou, yes, I would say so. At this point in time, I believe that there is going to be some motivation behind it that has something to do with his beliefs. However, what that is, where he's going to align, what those are, will have to come out down the road. Right now, they're just trying to make sure that they even have evidence that he is, you know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm going to say likely there is something to do with the culture of around his beliefs. Oh, Monica, agreed, Monica.
To the point of death. And now we're trying to reel and figure out what happened with all this. Where is all this violence and hate coming from? We all can identify it. We can all see it. I mean, there's no denying. The only people at this point that are denying it is the hierarchy of the Democrat Party, because they have to swallow the fact that they're horrible people and they just lost a man his life. And that is something that nobody wants to acknowledge. But you're not going to move past it until you do. You're not going to move past it until you repent. And they're not repenting. They're doubling down. And so we're finding out that this very liberal site of Discord, I didn't even know it. I'm learning a lot, folks. So don't mind me when I tell you stuff like that, because I never knew that there was, you know, liberal social media. I just thought, you
know. Anybody? Any of you want to take that right there? That's the fucking most comical thing I've ever seen. As she's telling you that liberals are the most vile, evil things in the world, she didn't know that there was liberal social media. Yes. So now if you have Discord, you're part of liberal propaganda. Oh my God, I about fucking fell over when I heard this shit. I was like, what, Betty? Where have you been? There is all, like, everything on social media. There's extremists, radicalists, conservatives, liberals. I mean, what? But it's Discord is liberal. That part, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, we got to hear it again.
It's the hierarchy of the Democrat Party, because they have to swallow the fact that they're horrible people and they just lost a man his life. And that is something that nobody wants to acknowledge, but you're not going to move past it until you do. You're not going to move past it until you repent. And they're not repenting. They're doubling down. And so we're finding out that this very liberal site of Discord, I didn't even know it. I'm learning a lot, folks. So don't mind me when I tell you stuff like that, because I never knew that there was, you know, liberal social media. I just thought, you know, every person that owned a social media site was just a self-absorbed, you know, oligarch that wants to control, you know, speech. That's the way I look at it, right?
Betty should tap out of these arenas. She really should. I mean, for her own health, her own mental status right now. She's not doing very well in there, you guys. She's not hanging in there.
According to Benny, Discord lied. They lied to all of us. They told us that they found the account and Tyler wasn't doing any planning. Now, who would have all of the records more so than the government, right? Discord. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because somebody was just in my Twitter account, right? They were just in my Twitter account saying, you know, arguing with me, which I don't argue. You know, I make my post. When people start arguing in chat, you'll find out very quickly. I'm the first one to go in there. I don't sit there and call one or other or anybody else. It's just like, listen, you guys can argue. Take me off this thread. You know, to each their own, but I don't want to read this crap. The back and forth, you know, once you post something, you're kind of tagged in it. So I forget that part, but, you know, I've been working on it. You know, I've just been softly removing myself instead of making a big orchestration. Kind of want to hurt people's feelings, but I got to remove myself from some of these things because I don't want to say something, because my mouth, especially with people I know, can just kind of start popping off, you know? I never heard of Discord.
Okay, let's bump forward to the really interesting part. I needed to start with lighthearted, even though I ranted for a minute. And another reason, you guys, is I show a lot of respect, or attempt to. I don't go in chats and piss on people's belief systems while mine are pissed on, or the assumption of what they think I'm standing up for. We're doing a simple fact check. I don't understand. I'm just supposed to take it. You can choose to click out of these conversations or these fact checking sessions at any point in time. I'm never disrespectful to people when I go on their panels, especially about politics or religion. If I'm asked to explain something, I try to give multiple different angles. You can have different beliefs. I give undue respect to others oftentimes, but there's only so much that you can take. So I appreciate you guys handling my little rant there. But a lot of times I show respect, even though I have been kicked over and over again by certain people, because I care about somebody that we might have a mutual friend in common. But I'm fed up. You can't hear me in a fact-checking moment. The same thing I do all the time. It's fucking wild to me. Okay, bumping it forward. We'll go through this full thing tomorrow, and I'll inlay more and more clips and things that debunk Betty tomorrow.
But I know that the ones that are that extreme.
Okay, actually, let me go back where she first pulls this up. Okay, so her theories recently, which we'll go over more in depth tomorrow, is that colleges are problematic. That is what is happening to young children. That is why we have this problem with gun violence in the world, because of children going to college. They're basically being indoctrinated with all of this insanity. She's done a few live streams on it, but now we're taking it up a notch. She's decided to, once again, which we saw her the other day pull up Megyn Kelly, and Megyn Kelly's knee-jerk reaction was to instantaneously blame the transgender community. It happened. We watched it the other day. Betty used that as a source, and they have not been able to make that factually part of the investigation. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. There's a one little white kid that's like wet behind the ears and 20-something that came on the record and said he's an eyewitness. Again, I'm waiting for the facts of the investigation to come out before I make stupid jumps like that. But the knee-jerk reaction has been to blame the transgender community, try to link it. And when that didn't happen, then they are trying to find other avenues to link it together. And it's just, we're going so far.
And Robinson. And they were most comparable because they were the closest, Kirks tried to take out Trump and Robinson was successfully at taking out Kirk.
Water Rider. Again, I guess you could say sourced where she was spewing her rhetoric from. She was talking about people getting fired from their jobs, which is something that JD Vance said today. So we sourced it, not necessarily fact checking because there wasn't really an agreement or a disagreement there. It was just what she was spewing. But we sourced where that was coming from in the rhetoric that she was. So some of this will be fact checking and source providing of where she's getting these talking points. Pin bodies? I love when Body shows up. You know who Body is, right? Where'd she go?
Almost the bottom.
Oh, right there. You know who that is, right?
Yeah.
I don't fuck with cats. Don't fuck with cats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Body. Kyle goes, oh, fuck.
That was a really good show.
Kyle said that was a really good show, Body.
And so they were comparing the two, and they both had off the charts. Oh, Masters of Science and Engineering, too.
Oh, yeah.
Pussy Willow Pendercat, are you sure it's not a Master in Science of Engineering?
So bad.
If he was in the engineering program, can somebody do a Wikipedia
And by the way, y'all, we're kind of just paving our own little way over here.
for me and tell me? No, I didn't, Gen X.
People say I'm stepping out of my typical arena. No. Debunking content creators over misinformation over crime victims is kind of what we do. We're not. These are just pieces of it that go together, unfortunately.
Candace Owens did a podcast. When did she do that?
Oh my God. That's what BJ's going over.
If you can, Gen X, send that to.
Kind of seems like Candace Owens isn't far right enough for BJ at this point in time.
Bullhornbetty at gmail.com. Bullhornbetty at gmail.com.
I'll have to watch
In
more
the
of
medical world, mental status examination, right?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. They're saying that it's possible. Wiki says engineer. Are you telling me the last 3 major shooters are all associated with engineering?
Oh, my Lanta. It has been so hard to sit here and try to be like overly respectful and try to like handhold people into like, I'm just fact checking this shit. And tonight I exploded. I appreciate you being here. I've seen you comment on things and I'm like, oh, thank you.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
That is blowing my mind. Thank you, DZ.
Ishi, understand. You'll understand in a moment why I'm talking about Betty. I think you'll be able to understand that. Thank you for the support, Ishi. And I think you'll understand because this is just a typical, again, she uses misinformation to incite fearmonger. These are the typical things. Unfortunately, right now, she's just using people in government to do that. It's hard. I get it. Like, it's hard because we're talking about politics. Because they inlaid it intentionally. So it does cause people to, it's fucked up. But this is exactly why she's doing it. Because she knows people stay away from these topics. So she'll kind of like, I appreciate you though, Ishi. I really do.
Amen. Amen. Oh my gosh. Are we literally
and can I just say
saying
it's so nice to find my people?
that Mangione, Crooks,
those are my people.
And Robinson
When I was going off,
were all affiliated with engineering programs from different schools?
Lisa, shocker. Watch her coming to Jesus moments.
Oh, wow. That's a concern. That's a major concern. Okay, well, now I got to look at the engineering scholarships.
Oh, the engineering scholarships. Yep, put those on the table.
Shoot. Because I ran a, let me see if I can find it. I know
that goddamn engineering.
I took a picture of it. Just bear with me, folks.
It's the devil.
So you guys know I've been looking at the scholarship, the avenue, you know, since Benny Johnson started making the comparisons of them. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's the trans community. I didn't know if like maybe the trans community offers scholarships.
Yeah. Okay. I want you to, okay. First and foremost, let's look at her post really quick. Okay. She posted this proudly on X. It's going to be finance people eventually, Revival. You know, she's just got to spin through all of it. She's got to spin through all of it. Amy, look at the post behind her, X. Look at the post behind her. I'll make it full screen for you guys. Okay, we're about to talk about college scholarships. Colleges. She claims she's college educated. I want you to remember that. Ella, this is gonna get wild, you guys. That's not just where she goes. So she's college educated, right? She tells us that all the time. She is extremely professional, college educated, intelligent. She's going in to talk about and blame and put blame that we don't have any fact basis to even go here. No fact basis. She's talking about this from a true crime perspective. She's mixing in politics and religion to it. She's choosing to do that. College educated women. Does the transgender community offer scholarships? If not directly, the transgender community, is there a scholarship available from a transgender friendly scholarship? Question mark.
was that faction of the right-wing podcasters that were paid by Russia? What the hell was that?
Tenant Media.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
The Russian, the podcasters played from Russia, Tenant Media.
Yep.
A bunch of those guys were caught up in that.
Like $250,000 a month. For
Yeah.
post.
You can go look into who that is. It's TENET Media. There was podcasters that were being paid, and you can go find like all the information on it if you're interested in that. But that's Betty's post. Yep. That's her post. Okay, ready? Buckle in.
And I was surprised to find out. So this was going to be the crux of my conversation is, yeah, the trans community does have scholarships, because I truly believe somebody is using scholarships, because now I understand it's been a while, but I don't know why I have the brain I have, and things.
Yeah, we don't know why you have the brain you have either. Lacking brain might be there, or malfunctioning brain. I mean, we don't know what happened either, but here we are. Buckle the fuck
kind
up.
of pop in my brain at random times about things that I did in the past. And I remember filling out my scholarships. Now, this is back.
Banyaka, are you going to yell at me too? Who else wants to yell at me tonight? I'm yelling back. I'm fucking yelling back. Again, Chroma Reels, thank you so much. Ishi, thank you so much. I missed some of these. I'm sorry, you guys. What in the word salad? Quirky, thank you so much. Welcome to Betty. We're giving you an introduction to two problematic true crime creators. They're actually loco. They're like, they took themselves to pasture, but they claim that they're true crime creators. They're failed at life. They fail at everything. But this is the shit they do. They're very similar. They are also co-plaintiffs. 2 of 10, BJ and Betty are 2 of 10 that they claimed alongside 8 others that 2 women, Granny's Watching and Barbecue Lady from TikTok, were involved in RICO and racketeering because it hurt their feelings. Their feelings got hurt on the internet. They said that these people were stalking and harassing them, but ultimately they tried to claim that they were RICO and racketeering. It got a very staunch ruling, and it's the first anti-SLAPP in Pennsylvania, so it's currently in an appeal, but it's a whole thing. I've actually detailed the case, broke it all down, read through the entire thing, showed the entire thing, showed like what was said. They did a whole bunch of fear-mongering. This media organization that got involved in a missing child's case by the name of At Night Media, At Night Intelligence, they came in and aligned themselves with the father of the missing child. And then they got him to sign a pro bono contract, his national spokesperson, who's a problematic piece of shit, and sued a creator. He took another creator to court, same granny. His name's Tony Mathis. He aligned himself with this At Night Media, who Dog the Bounty Hunter is connected to. Dog the Bounty Hunter is a name in the RICO and racketeering because they basically pay him, in my opinion, to use his name and likeness. And he does a few posts here and there and, gets on shows and calls the parent of the missing child the wrong name. His name is Seth. He called him Sean. The missing child's name is Sebastian. He called him Nicholas. It's been a shit show. But alongside that media company that is just a bunch of LARPers, one of them has been in prison for actual fraud. He's adjudicated fraud for doing shit like trolling people in politics, his neighbors. Like, he's a problem. Creators like Betty and BJ aligned with them because they got free pro bono representation from an attorney who claims he worked against child sex trafficking, but he was involved in the Cosby. They also used Bruce Castor, Donald Trump's attorney, during the appeals that he threw fucking shit at the TV over because Castor fucked up so bad. They used his name in this RICO and racketeering to try and make it get publicity. So they used Bruce Castor, Joseph Lesniak for the free pro bono, and Castor wasn't even involved, really. They just used his name, and then they tried to fearmonger and while suing 2 single mothers, trying to intimidate them by saying that they couldn't fundraise for legal defense, that they couldn't, that they could face up to 20 years because they were accused of RICO and racketeering because they used their YouTube channels to speak out against them. Yeah, it's been a whole shit show, and that's just kind of a summary a little bit, but this is like, there's a huge history here of why we're reviewing these people and what they've been involved in. It is a whole fucking shit show, but that's what I've been doing for like the last, 18 months now we've been doing.
When the world was really normal, not like the shit show we have now. And I remember when I was applying for my Pell Grants and other scholarships, because I went to a private college and it was very, very, very expensive. And mind you, I got
Amy, she's probably like, what the fuck did I end up in? And that was a genuine, like, I just saw you in the pool.
0 scholarships. 0. I think I got a $1,200 Pell Grant.
Oh, it's crazy.
And it's because I made too much money. I literally was bare knuckle.
Quirky, if you ever want something to read while you're online doing your cooking or whatever, by the way, I've caught some of your cooking shows after the fact. Some of those recipes look really damn good. Anyways, if you wanted something to read while you're cooking or doing something, the documents are publicly available and it's a mind fuck. The more people that know how dangerous stuff like this is, the better. It's all there. You can show any of it because it's honestly a mind fuck. If you like to talk about crazy, corrupt, rogue people, creators that sue people, anything like that, there's so much there.
It, making $9,000 a year, and I was making too much money for a freaking grant to go to school. I had to pay for everything out of pocket. Everything. Anyways, long story short, I remember the litany of paperwork I had to fill out, the questionnaires, the essays I had to write, just everything. You just had to go through and boom, boom, boom.
That's a part of her big live stream before this was the questionnaires.
You just did all of them. And I just did all of them because I didn't know which ones I qualified for. They didn't want you to do this, but my teacher, at high school just said do all of them because you never know. I'm like, okay, I'll do all of them. Never know. So that's what I did. And I went into my
Ishi, thank you. I appreciate you too. Honestly. These aren't like things that we should disagree on though, because they're facts. And that's what I'm trying to stick to is you're entitled to your opinion. You, like I said, I'm not being facetious. I don't care. A lot of my friends are Trump people, but when we talk about the facts, we talk about the fact that this is a court case and they're true crimers, genuine true crimers. So they care about the facts and the details. So they don't try to be like, oh, no. They understand that. They still like him for some reason. I mean, then some of them will tell you that. I don't fucking know. But they're still good people. And they'll have the conversation, but they pay attention to the facts. So I appreciate, but there really shouldn't be much to agree to disagree because we're just talking what's coming out of her mouth and where she's getting it from or the facts of things. Keep it moving. Thank you for becoming a member. Thank you again, Ishi. I know these conversations are hard and they feel like we might be disagreeing because I'm talking about politicians. We have to in order to source where we go back to. Again, have your beliefs. Please do. Those are your personal ones. I'm not trying to impede on those or tell you. We're just fact checking Betty and sourcing her bullshit. It's simple.
My registrars, they sat down with me. They started, it wasn't my high school, it was my registrar at Kaiser College. Fill these out, trying to make a way for me to pay for $20,000 a semester.
Oh, I think so.
College. And so we got, filled all this stuff out, and then it dawned on me.
You know who I wish was here, Christina? Skep. You were from Skep, right, Christina? Or watch Skep a lot? There is nothing more that I wouldn't give for a Skep breakdown or a live stream. I saw that he had done some more traveling.
I was too naive, too dumb to even think, what am I filling out? I'm just answering questions because I want money. I don't want to spend money. And these questions, as we learned in the Brian Koberger case, can be used. He used them not to manipulate the people in the jail, but he used them to find out more about himself because he's a serial killer. And he had that makeup.
I do too, Christina. I thought that was you. I was pretty sure because your color of your C has not ever changed, I don't think. But I'm always like, am I wrong? What an intelligent man. That was so good. Oh, is she? Because, you'll hear. I mean, we could just go up the line from Betty. If there's somebody else you would like me to do this with, is she? Honestly, I'm game. If there's somebody else out here doing the similar things to Betty and you want to debunk and fact check them over Charlie's murder and how they're using it, I'm game. Send me suggestions.
So now it's starting to identify how.
And I'm game with, like, if I will not show the pictures of the children. There are some really horrific things being done by people. I just will not show those, but I am also open to showing and exposing and talking about the people who are like posting really, really fucking hateful on the left side too. Please don't take it anyway. Like, I'm open for that, because there's some things that are being done in Charlie's honor, or people just using the opportunity to be their vile self. It's not in Charlie's honor, if we're being honest. It's so gross. And then people that are celebrating, like, none of us stand for any of that. So I'm game for any of it. If you have suggestions, send them to me. That goes for anybody.
How are these people identifying these people now? You guys know me. We deal with a lot of psychology on here. So I'm looking at psychological profiles and behaviors. And I'm seeing that these kids are ultra smart. They appear to have some type of home environment that's not, depression that's associated with home environment. A disconnected home environment, and I know what that disconnect.
That's right, because she knows all about parenting, right?
Was now. It was most likely he came from for this one, he came from a very conservative family that probably didn't align with his boyfriend, probably didn't agree with him having a boyfriend.
What? The family has not said that he had a boyfriend. So we can't just accept that what we know right now in this true crime case is that he's 22 years old, from Utah, grew up in a Christian Mormon household, did 1 semester in college. And that's basically kind of what we know. He's white, Christian, Mormon, Utah, 22. Yes, that's what body. I said that in the beginning. Like, they're trying to strip Charlie of everything Charlie stood for. He stood for freedom of speech, while the people that are trying to honor him are using it for cancel culture. It's a fucking mindfuck to me.
Probably him having the boyfriend really strained the family.
Right.
And maybe he felt different growing up and his parents never really accepted him or something.
Right. 100%. How many of you guys watch IHIP?
Like that. Now, I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just giving hypotheticals out on what I think would promote this, because I feel like they need to look for smart people. They need to look for people that can think on their feet and clearly have some kind of behavior that they can manipulate to manipulate that person into carrying out. And then they just start exploiting that little window into his world. Make them
come again. We'll go through and debunk some of this rhetoric tomorrow and more in depth. Right now, there's a few pieces like in the next 7 minutes that I want to get to, so I don't keep you here all night. This has gone longer than I anticipated. Sorry for my side tangents, but it felt good to actually get this off my chest. It's been building. There's been things being said. I've just gotten just weird hate lately. And I'm like, hate me, but I'm going to stand on what I stand on.
Feel important. That's the key to this is making them feel important and making them feel like they have a family, making them feel comfortable, making them feel, I mean, you know why I say that? Because that's what they do to the gangs. That's what they do in the gangs to get those little kids to do what they want.
Oh, it should have never happened. Should have fucking never happened, Ishi. Like, we've created this culture and fostered this culture, and we got to do something to stop it.
Because a lot of these little kids that are in these gang-ridden areas, their parents are on drugs. Their parents are too poor and are working 3 and 4 and 5 jobs just to put food on the table, and they have no real parent in their life.
But you don't want to talk about how resources are being stripped from those families. School lunches, free lunches are being stripped from those families, making it harder on those people that are hardly making it to begin with. But you don't want to talk about that resources are actually being cut that are only going to make this problem so much worse. You don't want to talk about that. You want to talk about and try to put all these assumptions and speculation and complete bullshit out into this universe, but you don't want to talk about the things that you're talking about that are making these problems, correct? That's what you're trying to blame it on and trying to give all these excuses to blame it on XYZ. Whatever the fuck you can. It's just fucking bullshit, one after another thing that comes out of your mouth. You don't want to talk about resources being cut. Good night, body.
And they're going without. And so these gang members bring them in and make them feel special and give them things and, make them feel like
love
they care.
IHIP.
And it's all just a manipulation. Be great. I don't know if he was.
I actually have a few clips from IHIP that I got pulled up to like debunk some stuff. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. And when they're not like, when it's not super intense like it is right now in this climate, they are some funny ass ladies. Holy shit, the two of them get going. Oh my God.
Or not.
If you can listen with an open mind, they fact check though. They show you exactly their source. Like they don't hold back.
I know Mormons are really big in Utah, but I can't speak to the religious background of the parents. I don't know. I didn't look into them.
Excuse me, what? Why are people having a hard time saying this kid is Mormon? We've seen escalated violence. Unfortunately, we have. Not just like what are you talking about here? Why are we having a hard time recognizing he's Mormon? Again, it's not a whole thing against the entire church. Bad exists in all areas. This is part of who the shooter's identity is. These are facts. That he comes from a Mormon household. His dad was a sheriff. Why are we avoiding actual details of the things we know? It's fucking wild to me. And the news is kind of doing it too.
And actually, after all the
culture that is created in Utah is problematic. I speak about it often.
Anger and vitriol in me kind of is subsiding. I do feel bad for some of the comments I made about his mom and dad, but I truly do believe they saw something changing in their son, and
she felt bad for them.
Did not do anything.
Still blaming the parent.
But I do have to consider, we talk about it all the time. Would they ever believe their son, their sweet son, that they, traveled around the world with, went fishing with?
Miss Upper Thigh, I'm sorry, nonsense, but being raised in a Mormon home does not Mormon make. Doesn't a moron make. Miss Upper Thigh, I think I'm getting this fucked up. It should be pretty easy to tell what you're saying, but oh, no, Miss Upper Thigh, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying right now, his parents were Mormon. It doesn't make him 100%. He could have parted ways. He could have had a faith crisis at any point in time. What I'm saying is these are the things that are being stated. He could have parted ways from the Mormon church, no longer identify as Mormon, those things, but he comes from a Mormon household. He was raised Mormon. Again, facts. Betty's trying to skirt around it when she always goes into these like psychological profiles and the backgrounds of all these parents of missing children. I want you to see the hypocrisy here. Oh, huge one, Cinerisa. Yeah, we're going to talk about that some tomorrow too. Thank you, Kay. Super impressed with your medal, and I don't mean your pacemaker. Love you. Kind of night, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Kay. Love you back. You've given me so much encouragement, and honestly, there's a lot of you that you don't even realize. Like, you guys have given me the ability to really find. I don't fit in some of these spaces, but I'm not going to shy away from talking about the facts now. He's not any longer Ishi. He was a sheriff.
Their baby boy. Would he be capable of?
I don't know how long. We can go into all of that tomorrow too. I don't know how long he's been parted from the sheriff's office, but he was at a period of time. I don't know if that was a long-term thing, anything of that nature. Those are just details that are coming out, unless they have corrected them from the FBI. But so far, that is just things that are, again, there's so many factual details of all of this stuff, but they're diving into the parents just like they normally do to blame the parents. It's cool, crazy.
I don't think any parent would think that their child would be capable So Denise,
I mean, Ishi, question really quick, because I love that you're in here. Did you see what Spencer Cox said, the governor of Utah, when they did the press release or the press conference on his arrest? Did you hear what Spencer Cox said? Put a 1 in the chat, any of you. If you guys heard what Spencer Cox said in the press conference when he was arrested, put a 2 in the chat if you have not heard what Governor Spencer Cox of Utah said when he was arrested. You thought they did? Yeah, I don't know if it was initially said that he was like currently a sheriff, Ishi. But at one point in time, and I'll go find that for tomorrow, Ishi. I'll put that on my to-do list to see if I can find out like how long he supposedly was a part of the sheriff's department and which sheriff. I'll try to go get the details of that and see if they've corrected any of that stuff. There are so many things. The other day I was trying to, like, I said flat out, like, look, these are some of the things that are being circulated. Like, these are the speculations and things like that. A lot of this stuff, there's no like source to, it's just the speculation and rumors and shit going around. And they're jumping the gun so fast on so many things, trying to like blame it on this community, that community, that they're all like having knee-jerk reactions all over the place. And it's just a fucking clusterfuck. Retired after 27 years. No, Ishi, you're good. 27 years. There might be, I'll try to pull it right now, actually. Hold on. Let's see if I can just find it.
says yes, he was raised Mormon.
I mean,
Is Mormon yeah, I think Mormon is a strict religion. No caffeine. I remember because I had a guy
no coffee, no tea.
in my my office when I worked for the CP.
Big on soda shops. If you like dirty sodas, like sodas with cream and stuff, that's a huge thing in the Mormon culture.
Yeah, I had a guy, and his name was Ken,
They're
and
actually
he was
good.
Mormon.
If you like that.
And I remember he was at the soda machine, and he said, "If my wife found out I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper, she would kill me." And I'm like, I won't tell. You know, I never, but I like see his wife like once a year at the Christmas party or something like that. And I'm like, "You're not allowed to have a soda?" And he's like, "Not in my religion." And he told me just a little bit. He's like, "I'm Mormon." And I didn't know, you know, I was young at the time. I 20, you know, right before my steep decline. And I just kind of said, "Oh, I guess Mormons can't have caffeine." I just put 2 and 2 together. So that was kind of weird. Mormon is Lance's family. Vancouver said Mormon is Lance's family. He was raised, hold on, let's read this. He was raised very conservative Mormon family. So yeah. So they are, it sounds like a lot of people out there are Mormon. So I would anticipate that Lance's family is probably also Mormon. Yet they can gamble. My boyfriend's Mormon. That's weird. They can gamble but not have soda?
That's a Jack Mormon. Gambling is pretty prohibited in Utah.
Soda you can have, but caffeine is not.
They do, but again, it just depends on, everybody's independent. Like, that's the crazy thing, is like everyone does different things.
Good for
some don't drink caffeine, some don't drink coffee, some drink tea. It just depends. Some will drink cold tea, not hot tea.
Body. I got it. Okay.
It depends on how strict they are in following. And if their temple recommend, which is, it just depends. Some wear their garments, some don't.
I see. Okay, got it. So it's about the body.
Yeah.
Your body is your temple type of thing.
Your body's
I have cousins in Utah are Mormon. I forgot about that until somebody brought it up. You're right. They do have a lot of Mormons in Utah. Because I remember, I think the first, I didn't know what Sister Wives was all about. Okay, I was, you know, you guys remember that it's not a sitcom, but it was like a real life doc on, I guess Mormons have, is that right? Multiple wives. I know it goes against our, you know.
How does Benny not know anything about this? Do you guys believe this? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe she's being honest and she doesn't even know the difference between LDS and FLDS. Oh, heck yeah, Ishi, you can. Absolutely, you can. That's why I always have such a hard time when people think I'm taking a slight at like religion or Mormonism or anything. Some of the best people I know identify as all those things. Those are their independent journeys. They're great people with or without whatever they decide to believe in. Like, those are personal decisions. Bad people exist. Liars exist. and everything. Like, I am not trying to do that, but I know, like, it's so personal for people. I get it, but I really appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you, Ishi. And I'm catching your comments on purpose because I'm over here trying to find that clip. Because I want to know about the sheriff. You guys keep me accountable, and I appreciate that.
Our laws here, but it's kind of a religious thing where they actually get around it by only marrying one on the record and then spiritually marrying the other ones, and then they marry their daughters off and stuff like that. That was the first, I mean, no offense, but that was the first time I ever knew of the Mormon faith. And I don't think, I don't want to be disrespectful to faith, but for me, coming from a Christian background where one man, one woman, it's just, it's weird. Okay. For me, to each their own. Again, 2025 and all. I'm just wanting to make sure everybody in the back can hear. Like, we're in 2025. Nobody gives a crap who you're sleeping with. Okay. Literally no one. Well, the only person that gives a crap that who you're sleeping with is if you're dating somebody else. Okay. They might have, if you're dating another person and you're sleeping around, they may have a problem but I don't think they really care which way. It's just the fact that you're with them and not sleeping with only them. Women have
FLDS and LDS is distinctly different. Fundamentalists, again, this is absolutely fucking a mind fuck to hear her be so ignorant about these things. She does true crime, right? How in-depthly did she cover the Frankie case? Do you guys remember? She went to Utah. Wait a second. She traveled to Utah when she did Gabby Petito, didn't she? I thought she visited Utah and she was involved in like the gals that were murdered in Moab. Didn't she cover that shit? Not shit. That was the wrong freaking term to use. Didn't she cover those cases? Shit. Those were horrific tragedies. Please do not get that mixed up. I said that completely wrong. But didn't she cover those? I thought she went to Utah. Why is she acting so ignorant about this?
No voice with the religion. Yeah, that's it. It's a small community of Mormons that do the multiple marriages. Okay, yeah. I know it wasn't highly popular, but I know that the ones that are that extreme in the Mormon faith.
Here it is. Newsweek. So this article is from, this is Newsweek, September 12th, 2025. Matt Robinson, the father of Tyler Robinson, allegedly assisted in the capture of the suspect killing of Charlie Kirk. Again, this is from Newsweek. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said at a press conference on Friday that Utah resident Tyler Robinson was taken into custody in connection with the fatal shooting. President Donald Trump was the first to confirm that the suspect had been placed in custody on Fox and Friends on Friday. Trump said a minister and the suspect's father played key roles in persuading him to surrender. He said the father drove the man to police headquarters. Kirk, a conservative activist and co-founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot at Utah Valley University on Wednesday. He was 31. What to know? Matt Robinson is a registered Republican, according to public records reviewed by Newsweek. Early reports indicated that he was a veteran of Washington County Sheriff's Office, but the Washington County Attorney's Office said that the reporting was not accurate and that Robinson does not have ties to local law enforcement. The individual arrested is not related to Washington County law enforcement. There are multiple people with the same names, the Attorney's Office said in a statement posted to Facebook. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said that a family member of Tyler Robinson contacted a family friend on Thursday, who then informed Washington County Sheriff's Office of information indicating that Tyler had either confessed to or implied involvement in the incident. Cox said Tyler was not a student at Utah Valley University. He did one semester of college from what we have heard. We can, again, tomorrow we can go more. A family member of Tyler was interviewed by investigators. Cox said the family member said Tyler had become more political in recent years and mentioned that Kirk was coming to Utah Valley University, another family member at a dinner. Oh, he mentioned that to another family. Okay, I read that really wrong. The family member said Tyler said he did not like Kirk and the viewpoints he held, according to the governor. Tyler Robinson allegedly fled the scene of the shooting on Wednesday, prompting officials to launch a multi-day search. The FBI had offered a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification and the arrest of the suspect. Kirk leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Trump said he had spoken to Kirk's wife, Erica Kirk. She's devastated, but in between the devastation, they want to keep Turning Point going, Trump told reporters on Thursday. Another thing that I want to look into, too, that I've heard has now been debunked also, is the fact that the kids were, there's some are saying and reporting now that it's been confirmed. Again, we'll look into it tomorrow, but that's another thing on the list of things I want to look into, because initially it was said that both the wife and kids were there. No, it's still horrific, but I just want to be able to accurately discuss that. So if that has been debunked, which one, Lisa? Which statement? Sorry. This is Newsweek. Oh my gosh, she doesn't realize that. Yeah, I think she did. I'm pretty sure I will go fact check myself on Betty's Utah. Again, not that she would know all of these things, but she's covered enough cases around Utah and I think travel too that you would think she would know the very minimum of FLDS versus LDS. Patel looks terrified all the time. That's just a constant. And you guys can make up nicknames right along with me. I'm okay with it. I'm not like, I don't corrupt, expose them all. Please. We're fact checking this shit together. So if there's something that we have that's now being debunked and I don't know, and I repeat, please check me on it, because there's so much shit. And I've been trying to say, like, all of this stuff, we don't have any of this information from jump. We're just trying to go with certain things that these guys are saying with our information. So if we heard things and it's changed, please let me know. I don't know about that at all. I don't know if the father will get the reward or not. Yeah, he's not an elected official. Yeah, that was very performative, and I felt horrible for Erica. Oh, I got you, Lisa. Yeah, I've got it pulled up, actually. I got it. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. I got them pulled up. Yeah, I'm good with it, you guys. There's so many things that are coming out. Like, that was something that was said pretty early on about the father's involvement with the police department. So please, anything. I appreciate you guys. And thank you again. Okay, let's carry on.
It seemed like the women.
See, this is why these streams are going to take forever, because we're going to actually, like, you guys are going to mention things and we're going to have to go look, which I'm good with, but they end up really long. So I apologize.
Too happy. Just my personal opinion. I don't know if even if I was raised,
I was
raised that way, I wouldn't know any different.
I'm with you guys. I want to know. This is a true crime case and should be treated as such.
But I wasn't raised that way, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of a selfish woman, you know. Like, when I'm dating somebody, I kind of like knowing that they're all mine. I don't know about you, but it's just the bullhorn Betty way, okay? Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I kind of like knowing they're mine. I kind of think they.
No, Ishi, I'm genuinely grateful. I don't feel you're being divisive at all. Like, people don't understand. This is what I want. I want to know, because there's so much going on in this. There's no freaking way I could know every detail of it, and I forget about some of those things that, you know, have been said. So please, I don't feel that way at all. I feel like you're providing good information, because it made me go look, and sure as shit, there it is. And there, you know, here's your sources new this week. Will we learn more over time? Who knows what will change or fluid? We're just going with the story right now. I appreciate it. You're looking at it from a true crime perspective. I genuinely am not upset at all. That's why I'm paying attention to all your comments, because I'm like, oh wait, let me go look. Just like if, you know, depending on who was there was just so many things thrown out there that it's been so hard to weed through it all. Pika, go to your corner.
Like knowing I'm theirs, you know. I don't think in my world we want, you know, I don't.
Hugs right back, is she? Genuinely, you guys, people don't realize I come across very blunt, but I I genuinely like these moments where we are doing this
I
together.
think we want the party.
We're learning together.
I'm very selfish. There you go, Denise. Okay, we can be selfish. We can be selfish, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
everybody understands it. And guess what? If you don't understand it, don't care.
Well, shit, this is the first one that's this heavy with political and religion inlaid so much, like from jump. Normally there's a little like cool off period where they start digging into the parents. No, this came out within the first like 5 minutes after he was shot, which is so hard to rationalize. Like that's, the man was disrespected from jump. It's a whole other thing on the side of the victims, but there's just so much on all angles that it's just it's a mind fuck to even know what's what.
Really don't care. Giving up my children as young as 13 to men in their, I have a real problem with that. Yeah. I'm not religion. I'm a Christian and follow Jesus Christ like Christ.
Shit, Kevin, we're educating each other. I said that the other day. Sorry, I'm interested in your guys' comments. That's what I love about these combos, because you guys really start talking. I'm not educating you guys. We're educating each other, and we're holding hands through this. No matter, this is why we don't have we do have a shitty booty bitches, but the rest of us sit over here. We jumped off the cliff together and are trying to figure out how we can help fix our future, because we do want better for our children and better for humanity. We jumped in together. We're educating each other and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. That's all we're doing over here.
Excuse me. Like Christ do my
Deprogramming and reprogramming. Like AI bots.
my father. Sorry, there might be some. I can't. I'm on my phone. I wear glasses, and the print's starting to get smaller as I get older. Okay, so bear with me. Bear with me. Well, all these different religions joined back with the Pope. Islam to it called Christian. Chrislam. No, I'm sorry. Islam. You know.
Okay. Now, you kind of see where we're going. I'm going to back this up, but I want to acknowledge John Doe's comment really quick before we go into this. Young people are particularly susceptible to having their beliefs radicalized. The elders disseminating the ideology sit back and watch the chaos without lifting a finger. That's something we talk about often, and Kyle and I are very vocal about with Kenzie. People like try to shame me. They're like, your own daughter was MAGA. Yeah, she was. I'm not ashamed of that. Why should I be ashamed of? That's where she was. It was the first time she could vote. She was heavily involved in the gaming world and social media. She had staunch views. I taught my girls and have always to believe in what they want, even though I believe completely differently. I allow them their beliefs. What changed was she stopped relying on social media to give her the facts of what she thought was going on. Kyle started providing her with primary sources. We talk about that. That's all that happened, was she started going and fact checking and knowing how to do it. She would hear something and he would say, slow down, go find the source of it. Was that said? Where was it said? And she came to, when she blew my mind. And now she comes out here and we're like, can you go away now? I mean, genuinely, we talk about that, but you are completely right. She had flags, Trump flags. You guys remember when I started, I showed them. I let my own daughter in my own home because I didn't even know. I should have done better. I told Kyle that last night. I said, this is really me deprogramming, because as a mom, I should have been more in tune to those things, but I wasn't. My life was chaotic. I didn't pay attention to what was going on. I didn't know what I was voting for. The policy, I didn't take time to read it. I could give you a million excuses. No, I was just really uninformed and avoided it because I had a lot of pain around it. And then when Kyle encouraged me to start really trying to find out what I do believe in, because I always just kind of veered away from it because of my trauma, he started encouraging me to find, what do you believe in? We did the same with our daughter, and she just on primary sources, you know, now she don't care. She don't like any of them. She's like me. She's an equal opportunity hater. And it wasn't because we brainwashed her or anything. She's funny as shit. You should still hear her. She'll rip them from side to side, no matter what side they identify in. It don't matter. She's funny as shit.
Well, all these different religions joined back with the Pope. Islam to it called Christian. Islam. No, I'm sorry. Islam, in all fairness, and I'm going to stand on my convictions on this. Islam has no place in the Western civilization. It just does not bode with our lives. It doesn't bode with our way of life. It's completely opposite of everything that we believe is true. And
who's we? Again, there's radicals within every sector, every religion, every walk of life, every group, right? We all identify that. Again, lay your sides down. You're entitled to your beliefs. I hope you have them, and I hope you stand on them. No matter what they are, stand on them. Betty's standing on hers. There is radicals, and we can recognize that. That's not what Betty is saying here. Betty is saying what she's saying, and it will acknowledge what she is saying. She is not separating. She is identifying this as we Christians, right? Again, these are identifiers that she is using. That's why I've been encouraging people to stop. Like when we're talking about a true crime case, you don't need to identify your political party in here. We're talking about the harm and the rhetoric that she's doing. This isn't about what you had. This is the things that she is identifying herself as right wing. That bigotry is accepted in Christianity. This is a lot deeper than people want to realize. And the hate is extremely in your face. She's not even trying to hide it. Let's hear that again. Again, I made an X post on Twitter. If you feel inclined to share it, Team YouTube is tagged. This video is put in there. This is hate-filled propaganda. You can have your personal beliefs. You can feel that people can be radicalized and do harm, but this is not acceptable. We're blaming transgender communities, engineers. For what? We don't know. We're wrapping it all into Charlie Kirk. We're not sure what we're really trying to blame them for, but we're open to putting blame on them for what reason. Like, none of this is called for to begin with. This is a 22-year-old white male from Utah.
Islam, in all fairness, and I'm going to stand on my convictions on this, Islam has no place in the Western civilization. It just does not bode with our lives. It doesn't bode with our way of life. It's completely opposite of everything that we believe is true. And if that makes me a bigot, by God, then call me what you will. Call me what you will. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be apologetic. If it's offensive to you, so offensive that you can't watch me, subscribe. Trust me, it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. I want people here that love one another, okay? Not that people want to tell people what to do, not that...
I want people here that love one another while spewing hate. Take that into account. She loves everybody. She wants people here because it's all love, peace, kumbaya, right? She's a Christian. Again, Betty's identifiers, what she is using. We as Christians, no, Christians I know do not feel this way. They recognize there's radicals that are harmful in every group. And most of them, even though they strongly disagree on what they believe, they still see the humanity piece and that their lives have value. To people like Betty, that's stripped away by identifiers. Just because they were born in a different country, raised differently, not all of them are bad people. But she doesn't want people to think that about her. Right. Okay. This is why I have a hard time with those spewing the anti-Islamic, anti-Muslim, all of it.
Watch me. Subscribe. Trust me. It doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. I want people here that love one another.
You can talk all you want.
Not that people want to tell people what to do. Not that, you got to do this and you got to do that. I just want loving individuals. I don't care where they come from. I just like warriors and fighters for good things.
Now you guys see why you got to.
We're very philanthropic over here. We do a lot for the world free of charge. I shouldn't say free of charge. You guys
We do a lot for the world free of charge. Really? What are you doing? What are you doing?
pay for it. We all pay for it. I work very hard. I work 7 days a week to pay for it. But we're all about giving back and service to others. I just, somebody telling me I got to pray, 15 times a day, that I got to wear black. I can't show my wrist. I can't show my, what? You want Bullmore Betty to do what? Wear garb on my head? Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Okay? That ain't going to happen. You going to try to tell Betty she can't have bacon? Bacon.
Those are the things that you have a problem with. That people choose to wear a hijab and that you can't have bacon.
I can live without the alcohol. You all know me. I'm perfectly fine just by myself. But you're really going to tell me that
This is why she hates Islam.
I can't have bacon? You've lost your damn mind. If I see, I'm telling you, I can't remember who I told. I think. No, I'm going to keep that. Actually, I might as well just throw it out there while I'm on this subject. When I found out that one guy in Texas was going around telling those stores around Texas, they had 30 days to stop selling booze, big gambling, or pork, or they're going to come in there and shut them down. They got 30 days to move out if they're not going to quit selling it. I'm like, and he's got his little sign and protesting. And I'm like, well, you know what? Somebody better shut this down, because you know me. I'm a very disrespectful woman. I'm going to pull up there with a freaking truckload of pork and just drop it right down there. I think it was Secretary. No, I was like, I'll clean it up. Like, don't be bringing the FBI to my house, okay? I'm going to clean the mess up. If I make the mess, I'll clean it up. You guys know I do that. But I damn sure I would probably pay somebody to go out there and drop a mess of crap. If you're going to threaten people in a community with hate, yeah, I can be very disrespectful, and I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Well, might be a smaller truck than I want.
What? As she's inciting violence against groups of people that have nothing to do with the shooter's identity and Charlie Kirk's murder, she's using Charlie Kirk's murder as a jumping point to spew her hate. Just straight up hate. That's what she's using Charlie Kirk. She's honoring Charlie Kirk by hating people, as other people that are fans say that he wasn't all of these things. What the fuck is happening here? And she's laughing with a smile on her face the entire time.
We would definitely do it. We would definitely do it.
While calling for people to get their jobs called. Yeah, some of these people are taking it way too far. I agree. It's disgusting. But she's like giddy over the fact that our seated vice president, said this shit. Here it is on Fox News, and she's like, yay, I can openly spew my hate and dox all the people that disagree with me. You know how Betty does. That's not what he said. But there's where Betty goes. Oh, I can open season, show my hate. She keeps going back to it.
You know what? I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but that whole thing. I mean, people walking around in black from head to toe. You know what? When I don't know about you, but when
I've said many of the same things at times. Like, there's things that they do, they believe in. That just wouldn't fit. I think I'm too stubborn on certain things. But then I don't shun Mormons for going to the temple and putting their garbs on, or wearing, now it would be hot and sweaty, their garments. But Mormons wear garments. They wear temple recommend clothing and different like aprons and stuff when they go to their temple. There's all sorts of different. There's certain FLDS that only wear long skirts. Like, there's all sorts of different, but they have a problem because of how they dress. You hate Islam because. So I expect that for Christianity, like certain Christians, right? Because there's certain religions that have to wear their hair a certain way, like the Warren Jeffs FLDS sect. They had to wear a certain type of clothing. What are you doing, Betty?
Growing up, like that's the stuff they made the scary movies out of. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember.
Now correlating what just
But that's what the shit that they made the scary movies out. Maybe I have a PTSD from my childhood. I don't know. I'm just telling you, I have a bad vibe.
When we talk about religion and stuff, yeah, we talk about some of the different like things or practices and stuff that they do, but these are their choices.
Every time I see that crap, I trust my gut.
Some aren't in the radicalized group. Some aren't choices. They're commands. Usually those are minors, women, part of the, like at the FLDS, they didn't have a choice. That's what they were raised in. Same with Muslims. Like, oh my God, so many different, like you could just go on and on, like the different styles, what they wear, what their traditions are.
Out here each and every day, something's telling me
The
that's
Amish,
not right.
yes.
And guess what? I don't
Great
care what
point.
people call me. I trust my gut. Why? Because my gut has gotten me out of a lot of crap that could have lost me my life. And it's because of that very gut instinct that I am here today. So I'm sorry. I have a problem with it. My gut has a problem with it.
Correlating their attire to a scary movie, the Scary Movie. I want you to take that in for a moment. Again, if you're inclined to reshare my tweet on Twitter, please do. I don't know how this is allowed on YouTube. It's misinformation and hate speech. You tell me, whatever group you identify that she's taking a slight at, or even if you don't and you're just allies, accomplices, whatever the case may be, this is problematic and should not be allowed. And all of this, and Betty's fucked up mind, is to honor the life of Charlie Kirk.
Heart has a problem with it, and my mind has a problem with it. Whatever you need to say about me, you can say it. I don't care. I own it. I own it. If that makes me a bad person, by God, I'm an awful person. But I still stand on my truth, my convictions. I don't like it. Okay? When I see people go, huh, 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 that looks like a freaking Nazi training session. Okay? I don't want no part.
Is she talking about how do you pronounce it? The Haka from New Zealand? The Pacific Islanders and Hawaii, Samoa, Tongan. Is she talking about the Haka? Is that right? Did I pronounce that correct? So now we're taking an entire different turn and slighting a beautiful tradition that is extremely powerful. That is something they believe in. Why is because what they believe in, you hate the entire, like, what? The Haka is beautiful. They do it at graduations, funerals, all sorts of different ceremonies with it. They're beautiful ceremonies. Like, they have so much meaning to them. It's a celebration usually. And she's taken an entire slight at a beautiful tradition. For what?
Part of it. Okay? None. Are you hiding? Am I getting too loud? Am I getting too loud? Don't be hiding behind. Come on, come say hi. Come say hi.
Now you guys see why I came in hot tonight.
Come on. Come say hi. Come say hi.
If you didn't understand before why I was going to be hot and my emotions were, you probably are understanding now. I got to this and I started feeling more.
Why are you hiding? You're not camera shy.
I do too, crafty girl.
Why are you hiding behind mommy's back?
That's something the Mormon missionaries taught us in Utah. There was a lot of Mormon missionaries that came from the Pacific Islands, and they did the Haka at different points in their mission to celebrate. It was actually really cool. First time I'd actually seen one in real life. There's a big Pacific Islander population in Utah. Beautiful traditions.
Why are you hiding behind mommy's back? Huh? Why are you hiding? This is my Prozac right here, right? When I have a bad day, I just look at her little.
And yes, I might be a little personally offended because our missionary son that we talk about, that's 6'8", that left me his name tag when he completed his mission, and that's like a huge thing. We love him dearly. he is Samoan, who was raised in Hawaii.
Face and she perks me up. She's mommy's baby. She's mommy's baby. Oh, I didn't even have a chance.
And the haka was part of his culture.
This is one of my
Is part of
birthday
his
gifts
culture.
from from the real me too. I got
Mona Lisa, but that's not what she claims. She just told us about her college education again while trying to take slights at anybody that got a scholarship for college. Then engineers, people in the transgender. But you're right. We do know that factually she is very dumb.
coffee cup.
That doesn't give an excuse for the pure hate she's spewing.
And look, I don't know. I don't think this was for me.
Hey, Tennessee,
I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe it'll go with that dress. Can I pass it off as mink? Can I pass?
Sam, and not only that, they're one of the most beautiful, like their traditions. I'm not just saying that, like they mesmerize me. They really do. Like they're so interesting because I don't understand, but there's so much energy in it. I don't know what it is. It's calming to me. I love watching them. Good freaking people. Strong. Like they talk about the family unit. Some of those cultures, their family units are so strong. Family to them is everything. And they celebrate by doing like those ceremonies. And it's just wild to me that somebody up here talking about people wanting to break up families, and then she's mocking a beautiful tradition in families. What the fuck?
I'm just joking. I'm surprised she didn't jump up here and get it. Oh,
who knows? I don't want to know.
Look at this darn face. She still has a puppy face. She's a little over 18 months old. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Mommy's fun to.
We were taught so much from our boys. Oh my gosh. I have stories for days. They taught us so much about stuff I'd never got to be around any of that stuff.
What a joy. And she's so sweet. I mean, you know what? I've never had a problem. Like this dog didn't chew cords. And thank God. You know why? Because we would be poor. We would be channel poor over cords. She has never chewed a cord in
John Doe, and that's why we will continue to speak up against people like BHB and Betty, because they do not represent us. Well, they claim we Christians, rights, whatever, their identifiers. Unfortunately, these two have those, and I apologize to anybody that identifies the same in terms. I do. This is not, in my opinion, representation of you guys. These are radicals, and I'm willing to make that distinction, and that's why we will continue to talk about it. We're not normalizing this shit. These people are wild.
This house. And there's cords literally lying everywhere.
Because it's behind
Betty's house, and you never know where I'm going to just go live from. Is it going to be the kitchen?
Let's not forget that either. For anybody that's new to Betty, she is wild as far as like, she'll get on here and spew hate, but she also puts action behind it. She travels to people's towns, victims' families, hometowns where the child went missing from, and stalks and harasses the family, threatens, talks about a pew, and then jumps out in traffic, goes after the step parent of the stepdad. That sounds goofy. The missing child's grandfather, and attacks, not physically, but verbally, accosts this man, gets 4 ROs on her, and Betty's been the victim ever since.
Is it going to be the living room? Is it going to be the office? Is it going to be office 2? And if you guys don't know what office 2 is, you haven't been watching Bullhorn Betty long.
Oh, and she's a professional pro se litigant, not a litigant. She is the one that initiates lawsuits. She puts action behind her craziness. She travels. She's a little bit out there.
Okay. Office 2. Office 2 is the bedroom. Okay. This is a pillow. Okay. This is a green screen. And I have a green screen in my bedroom because there for a while, I was going live through most of the Sebastian Rogers case. This was the
I'm assuming it's probably enhanced by AI. Clue made that the other night. I just stole it. She sent it to me the other day, so I used it tonight because it was so impromptu. I'll change it afterwards, but I didn't have anything, and I just flew off at the handle when I heard some of the shit she was saying. But I'm assuming they used AI. I can't remember if it was Clue or Cletus that made it the other night.
I had paper spread out here, and we worked. We worked nonstop. I think 13 to 16-hour days. We worked. And if you're like,
where?
Who's we, buddy? You never have anybody over. I know, I get it. No, it's my, it's the those people with the blue little wrenches and stuff. They do more than just come here and smack you guys around. Okay, they actually do investigative work every now and again.
Oh, this is investigative work, huh?
No. Why would it be bad to eat shellfish?
Okay, I think we're good for tonight. We're gonna actually do this justice tomorrow and break it down bit by bit. But I wanted to share this tonight because this is a problematic video, in my opinion. Extremely problematic. It's extremely filled with hate, misinformation about so many different communities. While she's screaming freedom of speech, she wants people over there that love. All she is doing is straight up hate. But before we end tonight, I do want to share, because we talked about IHIP. So this is I've Had It. 100%. They are a left, they are liberal podcast, but they are funny as shit. And they do the same thing. They will go through and they will provide receipts, facts, clips. We'll get into it further tomorrow, but I'm going to play just the beginning of this. And you'll hear when Betty says she could never, she's a barbaric woman. Nobody's going to make her wear a hijab. Betty has the privilege of having white skin. Betty claims that she is so persecuted. She's been beaten in the streets for her opinions. I want to remind you of a few things really quick before we end.
And not.
This is IHIP.
Failed drag
I will put their link in the description when this is over.
queen that referred to the president of the United States as Hitler. I'm talking about smoky-eyed sociopath JD Vance, who we here at IHIP News refer to as Lil Smokey. He went and substituted in
I absolutely adore Texas Paul. Absolutely freaking adore him.
on Charlie Kirk's podcast today in the office of the vice president. And he is engaging in full-blown lying propaganda. He starts off the clip that I'm about to play, disparaging The Nation magazine and untruthfully linking it to being funded by George Soros, which is.
And I will play the clips that she's talking about in full context tomorrow. Vice President JD Vance hosted the Charlie Kirk podcast today. We will listen to some of it tomorrow so you understand that these aren't just speculations, these are facts.
100% false.
We're dealing in facts here. This is not a debunking, but you'll see the push down, trickle down effect of what some of Betty's rhetoric is coming from. Now, this part she hasn't gotten to in that clip yet. She will kind of touch on that. She's all over the place. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I just wanted to introduce you to IHIP because we talked about them. I'll put this in its appropriate space tomorrow.
And The Nation has gone on record and not sanitized the body of work that remains after the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk. They have very plainly written out exactly what he stood for.
They are definitely a left podcast, but they provide receipts for everything. And people will say, oh, the context is removed from this or that. We can go a little bit further for context too, if we need to.
What his movement stood for. And here's Lil Smokey talking about that. And then a follow-up video proving that Lil Smokey is a lying liar. Play the clip.
Guys.
Accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously."
So some people initially were trying to say that this was an AI, but they didn't realize that he had hosted Charlie Kirk's podcast from his office today. Like they were like, well, who put JD behind a desk? So there was some interesting knee-jerk reactions again. And this is part of where he said that about employers and what's going on. So we'll get further into it tomorrow, but just to kind of so you understand where some of this is.
But if you go and watch
they do an excellent job debunking all of this shit, truly. These would be people I look up to
because of the way they fact check all this shit.
Clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words.
If we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously.
So there it is, Little Smokey, the sitting vice president of the United States, lying. And it's breathtaking that he lies like this and that.
So as Betty is over here, you know, being persecuted and honoring Charlie Kirk by completely using hate speech and misinformation and using the rhetoric of cancel anybody that's speaking out. Granted, some of these people have gotten extreme. I'm acknowledging that. But she continues to deny that things like this were said or have been said, while using the rhetoric of JD Vance and calling for employers to be called. Again, you can fact check me. I'm not pulling this out of my ass. Here it is. Fox News, Twitter. This all wraps together. Betty's just using all of this poor behavior to amplify her own shit behavior while masking it under a true crime case. A lot of these statements by Charlie Kirk are not taken out of context. The man had a very, very harmful stance on a lot of different things. Whether you agree with him or not, that is your choice. Some things, context has been skewed. Very few. But when we're talking about things that hurt other people, and you're trying to discredit that those statements hurt other people, you're discounting other people's right to have an opinion, right to have feelings. Ignoring things like this that he said. This man, one thing I've heard consistently by all the people that said that they're fans of him or love him was that he stood very firmly where he stood, whether you agreed with him or not. He repeated these things. He had reasons and explanations for his stances on these things. This is not justifying that the man was murdered in any way, shape, or form. This is a true crime case, correct? In true crime cases, what did Betty and those guys usually do? They dig in. They pick apart everything about the person. They have no holds bar. Some people are doing that. It's wild. It's wild the different levels this has gone to. It's truly a mind blow. When people are saying that they're not celebrating that this man is deceased, in fact, they are horrified that we lost another life to a gun violence incident. Most of us can agree that this is a horrific tragedy. We've had too many people lost to gun violence. Charlie was brutally murdered. We cannot like the man because of what he stood for, the difference of opinion. And we can recognize that his life had value and purpose. If we're going to fight for victims, then we've got to be able to fight for the victims that we don't even like. I say that all the time. He's a victim. He's a murder victim. But we're not going to take away all of these things when people like Betty are using, we're honoring this man. This is what he stood for. Well, they're lying about what he stood for. These are the things he factually said.
that they are misrepresenting for their own agenda. This isn't a Charlie Kirk issue and not slighting Charlie Kirk. Charlie stood on those things. That's why people respected him, because he used his words. Charlie is being disrespected by the people that claim they honor him by misrepresenting and making it into a hate all of these other demographics of people. You have the governor of Utah. We're going to end on that note. Let me pull that up. That was actually so hard to watch. And I at one time liked Spencer Cox. That was, I was stunned. These people have no respect for Charlie at all. I didn't agree with this man's takes on a lot of things. His words hurt people. But I can still acknowledge that people can love him. They can believe in him. And we all agree he didn't deserve to be murdered. We don't have to ignore the facts again. Well, they're completely twisting shit. Okay, let's see. That is that one. Oh, here it is. Let me transcript it. Sorry. It's past my bedtime. Oh, I got a meeting in the morning. I'm going to try to find just this one part. I got to find my timestamp. Sorry, you guys. Give me 1 minute. I was not prepared to pull this one up. I was stunned hearing him say this. Oh, here it is. Okay, got it. So this is going to be from Fox 5 New York. Here you go. This is Governor Spencer Cox at the press conference announcing that a suspect was in custody.
This bad stuff happens. For 33 hours,
I adore them.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country.
This guy here, right here with the cowboy hat on. Hold on, you guys can't see him. I'm going to back that up a minute. Watch this guy's face when he says this. He knows exactly. He's like, oh, shit, he just said that. He publicly said that.
And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be a part of we or us. I don't give a fuck what identifier it has with it at this point. I don't want to be a part of we or us. The us Governor Cox is speaking of, or the we that Betty is speaking of. I don't want to be a part of any of that. This man prayed that the suspect would be from another state or another country. That's what he said. He said that. Then you hear Betty out here is just spewing hateful rhetoric at anything that's not white and right. the mind fuck of all of this. Truly astonishing.
Because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say.
And again, these people don't speak for the majority, but the majority needs to speak up now, because this is what all under the name of a murder victim. What?
Hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting.
You know what else was one of you? Ruby Frankie. You know what else was one of you? Josh Powell. Shall I go on and on and on, or do you think the point is proven? What? Crime happens everywhere, in every religion, in every political party. But to pray that this would not be somebody from Utah, out of state, out of country, Chad Daybell. Yeah, I mean, you guys, there you go. You're listing a bunch more. Wow.
There's no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There's no violence.
Why would there be? He's not a politician. He's a social media guy that runs Turning Point. He's not a politician. Did he have political alignments? Yeah. Associations? Yeah. It's because he's a murder victim. Are you trying to compare it to or correlate it to George Floyd in some? What? He was murdered.
There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity.
I'm trying to think of what he's trying to correlate this to. Honestly, is he talking about Minnesota?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate.
Country Sunset, thank you so much for being here. That was a really nice compliment. I'm glad you came out of the bushes.
And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side.
There's no side here. There's a suspect, 22-year-old suspect. Will there have freaking motives behind what he likely? I'll be willing to say likely. He was probably radicalized in some, we don't know.
And at some,
that's part of the motive of the crime. But this was knee-jerk reaction. This is the press conference announcing that a suspect is in custody. You know, Mr. Patel back here, there was a school shooting in Colorado, which borders Utah, ironically. 2 kids were shot and in critical condition. I mean, there's just many of them. There's so many things that they didn't show up for. Not at press conferences for. Mayors don't come out and announce when people are shot and killed. What? Yeah, he's bummed out that God didn't answer his prayer.
Point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices.
You're saying things like that. You're saying things like that and then saying we need an off-ramp. Really?
That we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us.
We didn't murder Charlie Kirk. We didn't do that. A 22-year-old is in custody right now, alleged to be the suspect. Why do we have to choose a turning point? We didn't murder Charlie Kirk. Huh? Yeah, that's all I got tonight. We can watch that in its entirety if you guys want to in the upcoming days. Texas Bluebonnet, that's why it's so frustrating to me right now too, because the very people that say that they adored Charlie, they adored what Charlie stood for, are completely taking what Charlie stood for and acting like it didn't exist and completely going against what he did stand for. Like, he wasn't into cancel culture. He was, they say, you know, oh my gosh, he was fighting for freedom of speech. Well, they're trying to take people's free. It's a mind fuck. Yeah, we can do that tomorrow, Revival. Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, well, I think some of us saw it when we reviewed, but I was doing commentary on BJ, not the press conference. So if you guys want to watch that on our own, we absolutely can and go through it. We're going to go through the Betty, that full stream tomorrow. It was horrible. It's horrible, and you guys have only seen a little bit of it. Cash Money, yeah. Kevin, what the fuck? Oh my gosh, NorCal, did you see the clip I played of the Fox News calling for people to be euthanized if they don't take their meds and follow in suit, basically, the homeless population? Not the other mass shootings, not used with ICE without due process. When we have a sitting president, King Powers, those weren't turning points? Yeah, well, you know. Oh, Lisa, that's the crazy thing is it's like, okay, if you love this man and care about, you know, his honor being done justice, like, be factual. Stop trying to strip like what he stood for. He repeated these things. We don't have to like him or agree with him to still say he's a murder victim and deserves justice. It's such a mindfuck because as soon as you say that he's a murder victim and you disagreed with his stance on shit, and you can agree and acknowledge that his stance was extremely hard and really wanted to strip many of us, women, anybody of color. Like, there's a lot to it, but people are, as soon as you say like, no, these are things he repeated and said, and this is the context of it, they're like, you're trying to justify his murder. No, not at all. We're just trying to be honest about who the man is and was. Well, his own people are smearing him and using him for a prop for calling for more bloodshed, more hatred. It's fucking insane. None of us want that, no matter what side you're sitting on. These people are fucking out of control. All right, I'm out. Oh, I agree. Country, there's a lot of things I question about this investigation. I mean, Cash Money Patel is running it. They have done everything to spin not releasing the Epstein files, and that's like, what? I thought that's the base of things. Like, we stand to protect children, but yet we are doing everything to cover up people that harm children. Like, that in itself is a really big mindfuck for me, truthfully. So do I expect transparency in this? Absolutely not. They can use it for political motivation, and they will continue to, while smearing the dignity of Charlie Kirk. It's fucking insane. Again, I think I have more respect for the man, and I disagreed with pretty much most everything he stood for. Besides, he also thought there should be transparency in the Epstein files. I think they should honor their friend and release the Epstein files in his honor. I think that's what they should do. I really do. It's crazy. Demand them. Yep. Yep. Don't get distracted. We can do all at once. Yeah. We stand against protecting people that harm children. Expose them all. That's what we want. Expose them all. That's not just a talking point. That's a true thing. Like, we talk about that out here in these true crime spaces that most people claim they come from. I'm not true crime in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that I overlap in that community. And that's what these people are identifying themselves of. Their interest in Charlie Kirk's murder is from the true crime perspective, while completely filling it with hate filled rhetoric and misinformation. It's fucking wild. Release the files, release them all. Yep, we don't protect pedophiles, right? How many times have we heard that from so many of these people? And then they're like going along with it. Trump was an informant. No, he wasn't. Like, let's stop. Johnson, let's stop. Okay, I really am out of here. But sorry if my stances were harsh tonight. No, I'm not sorry. I'm done apologizing. I need to stop doing that because I'm really not sorry, because I actually feel more productive after I end a stream like this. Truthfully, and it's not because I got to, but I just feel like I'm finally growing into less like coddling of people's feelings, because I'm not doing any justice to this by sugarcoating the obvious. Like, these are the facts, take it or leave it. I don't have to like him. Like, this isn't a personal thing. I don't know Trump. I just don't like people like him. And he just happens to be the president. That's it. I didn't like Biden either. Okay. Good night. Thank you all for being here. See you tomorrow.